badly at the start of this series. But alas, we go to Mirage now with lots of utility here for Art and Fallen. FURIA taking to the T side. Scrawny and Harry getting you through this.
And I think we're in for a bit of a bloodbath, right? Like, one thing to look forward to here is it's not a sleepy FURIA right now. That they did warm up into that first map. And so I'm hoping that they give us that much more out of the gate. Certainly living up to the hype with this start. That's 2 decoys thrown in place of the smokes, trying to bait out any util that Apeks might have. The moment they see those decoys flying over, you're hoping that they drop a smoke, maybe they throw a nade, a molly, a flash. But there is no such util for Apeks to use here. Now the real exec going in over the top, and it is immediately opened from CT by Sense on the USP.
Man, all this util and you don't block off Ticket, so Sense will make the most of it. They hold on to a smoke for K-Serrato. Last molly going forward. And then there's a disengage. I mean, they have managed to get Yuri into the B site. This full-blown rotation from Apeks now, aware of what they've done. They opened this big flaw in the defense, and guess what? The Berettas run past. Oh, Stiko, he just looked this way. He double checks! Oh no! Oh no! It falls the other way. Knock going deep in through underpass finds FURIA with their pants down. They thought they were big brains. Instead, all 5 slain. And it's Apeks with the pistol.
That is a roller coaster of a pistol round. And man, I think, you know, Yuri played it perfectly over towards B, man. He really did. Like, he gets super deep. He calls for the rotate to come back around. Apeks, the credit goes their way for piecing together that's a fake so damn quickly to get Nork all the way up through lower. And then for Stiko to double check. He knows, right, when you've dedicated that many smokes, that, you know, all the Molotovs and whatnot over towards A, and then you go back, you're not going back without a good reason. And so he expects someone to already be in B. But he has the presence of mind to re-clear the market after Yuri tries to finagle the timings there around him.
Not once, but twice. Yuri, he could have caught Stiko not looking the right way when he first crossed to the bomb site, but then when he got in and then he was going to bench, he checked a second time, and it's then that Yuri loses his duel. So tragedy for FURIA and slaughter for Apeks. This one over in the blink of an eye. No bomb plant despite site being smoked. And so, 2-0.
Yeah, cleanly done. And I think most crucially, right, the whole goal of that round for FURIA is just to get the bomb plant. You saw them trying to plug in those numbers, but it's denied by Apeks. And you know, considering that was like the real goal of the round for FURIA, Apeks feel good about disrupting it. Now the gun's going to come out. And to sure the pistol, FURIA get out-positioned, outsmarted. And now they've got a chance to run it back up against this bonus round for Apeks. And oh, that's not the start you want. Sense on the MP9 has laid waste to the FURIA rifles. Those AKs are gone. It's Fallen and Art with a MAC-10 and a Galil between them. And not even that stands for long. A flawless bonus round with Sense racking up 4 on the MP9 with the USP from Ticket. And then he makes it their last ride up through ramp with the MP9.
And this kid wants a piece of the action. Beautiful MP9 work here, down to the last bullet. Funnily enough, the frag grenade that goes deep into ramp also blows the AK away from the last 2 guys to try and grab it. Just total control and domination, not only isolated to this one round, but the round prior too. Yeah, okay, Apeks fell for your tomfoolery with that late B lurk out from Yuri. But barring that, I mean, FURIA, it's like they haven't even been playing Counter-Strike in the face of this. That MP9 tears through them. We just said it's the bonus round. Well, guess what? That MP9's coming back for more money, this time in the hands of Stiko, who spends $900 on grenades. That's it. And this is the freest of rebuys.
Yeah, and this is like, you know, it's so... There's such a huge contrast between how this game has started for both of these teams, right? For Apeks, they're rolling in money. They're taking economic control early on. For FURIA, it's felt like you barely even got to play the rounds the way you wanted to open up this game. Nothing has gone right. In the pistol round, they got figured out way too early. The flank gets wrecked, and then they lose that bomb in rotation. In the second round, their goal was the bomb plant. That gets denied. In the third, they get churned up by an MP9 at ramp when they're meant to have the firepower advantage. Nothing has been hitting for FURIA here. So this is them trying to turn it around, getting out fast on the ramp side with pistols. They have this one hero gun in the hands of Cello. And they have taken a good bit of room here. That's something at least. The molly won't stop the plant in time. Will burn falling out after the fact. It's Art in pole position to try and make a difference. Trigger discipline. Oh God, man. No. Okay, one kill down on the connector player. Yuri will get it, and he's going to run for the hills. He doesn't want to hang around. He doesn't want to try stop the defuse. He knows they've already won the round. So just getting out with the M4, it's something at least.
What does Stiko get back? Chucking around that MP9, bomb gets defused. That round cost Apeks $4,500 across all 5 players to get everything they needed. That's just utility across the board, right? You're talking about a round where Sense made all that money. You spend 45 divided by 5. That's not even $1,000 per player, Mr. Russell. And you follow up in the next one with 4 players alive yet again. That MP9 that made all the money still in the hands of Stiko. Look at the cash that Apeks have in their back pockets. This is looking like the major payout.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, like, in MR12 especially, taking control of the money game is just the difference between a nice, easy walk in the park kind of victory or a really stressful tear-your-hair-out game. And Apeks are safely winning that side of the coin right now. Once again, FURIA settle on trying to take control out through ramp. They're at least doing a lot of conditioning to make Apeks worry about these A-hits early on. And so maybe that comes into play a little bit later in this second map. They also secure the opener this time, but they lose Art out over towards the B apartments, so any hope of going back with the bomb was out the window. They will secure the plant over on A, and they're teed up in a 4v4 post plant. They've also got this AWP posted over towards ramp. So Fallen, he would love some fights out through CT.
And Art trying to make that B play happen before bombs even planted. Of course, Stiko's still going to be floating around in that half of the map. So you just lose the man advantage that could have lurked late. Instead, they're going to spam through smoke. Dude, Stiko is unstoppable. And he's just going to jump on the bomb with 3 Ts alive. Queserato finds him through that smoke, so maybe getting ahead of himself. And then when it falls to the 2v2, there's no chance at it now. So Stiko dying out in the attempted defuse is the door left open for FURIA's first. A little bit of chaos in that bomb site. The fact Fallen walks away with no frags. We have Art still sitting on the goose egg. But Cello has his first, and that first frag was the one on the front site brick box that just opened it wide for the taking. We saw this plant made easy. This is a minute 18 in the round.
I know.
MP9 walks out. There's no bomb plant A yet, brother.
I know it feels crazy, but I think, you know, we said coming into that round how, like, they've been conditioning them with the A plays, right? And I think that that's a product of that. You know, he sees the game. He sees the game at a much faster tempo than everyone else does. And when you've gone A every single round...
Are you calling me slow?
No, not at all. I think a lot of people are compared to Art. It's no hard feelings, Connor.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, like when he sees that they're out on A again, his teammates already kind of won that opening duel over towards ramp. He's thinking there's going to be an overreaction from Apeks.
Sure.
If anything, that round maybe shows FURIA, okay, they're not fully conditioned to up and leave these bomb sites instantly. We haven't quite got them that nervous yet.
Also, in Art's defense, you know, Stiko is tucked into that one corner.
It's a very ratty play from Stiko. A respectable one, though.
Ah, yes, the respectable rats. Like Stuart Little.
You trust him. You trust him to manage.
I mean, they let him drive a boat.
Yeah, and a plane.
That sounds dangerous.
The sequel to Snakes on a Plane. Never did as well. Here we are, fast B play. And they will run down Stiko, one of the kind of front men for Apeks across this series, already knocked to the wayside. Same can be said for Sassanito in at the back of the site. Jacob dies in rotation. For FURIA, this is a feel-good moment. They launch an assault over towards this B site. There's 3 players here, if you count Jacob's fast rotation, and they get out cleanly with the round. This is something that was kind of a miss back on that previous map. You never really felt like any of the rounds were mega convincing, even when you were winning them. Yeah, it always required some degree of heroics, and this one is far more, you know, kind of team effort here for FURIA, where everyone's pulling their weight and it all goes their way.
Love the tempo from them. Love the MAC-10 jumping through the bomb site, just getting in with what they have to. You know, it's a couple rounds where, yes, you do have that solo lurker going on with Apeks in their defense. They had more in it, but I think this is just a tragic one for Tatsunito as he lost complete control of the catwalk. Well, not his job, really. His mid players lost control of catwalk. He dies to the peak that comes swinging wide as he just tries to tuck. You know, he had an option there where he could have gone for bench, but once he gets this kill, he kind of stagnates, and in doing so, opens the door for art.
All right, a little streak of rounds on the board for FURIA. 2 in a row now, and you know, one of the things that we kind of drove home to no end at the start of this game was how Apeks had built up a really, really solid bank account as a result of how the first few rounds panned out. And so for FURIA, the hard work is not yet done. This is going to be a very grindy game. They still have a ways to go before they get Apeks down on pistols and get given any freebie rounds. Over in mid, Fallen is caught from this aggro play out of Jacob, flashes to lend a helping hand, and they just keep on coming, harassing Art, boxing him into a corner, but they won't follow through on chasing that kill. So that gives way to a 4v4. FURIA have ample time now to reset. Jacob's actually double dipping in top mid. He's retaking this control. Spots them moving back through the apartments and even does one better than that, knocking Yuri out of the round. It's no small feat. For FURIA, you feel like you've really run out of options here, right? You've got Art bullied down to 3 HP, Cello wounded from that fight down in lower. And so what do you even do here, man? The only guy with health is Keserato, and don't get me wrong, he's usually the name you would want left in these sort of clutch situations.
You save, Harry.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
The choice has been made for you.
But I don't know, like, they don't often like to do it. They always want to give these rounds a try, and so it feels like they're going to. But now that you've lost Cello in the apartments, it's like, okay, we're out in mid. I guess we grab the AWP and just stay alive.
You know, people don't like paying taxes either, but we still have to do it. Dentist's office, you still got to do it. Sometimes, you know, there's just things you need to do. And in this case, FURIA, you gotta let it slide. I feel bad for Fallen this round. Poor guy's scoped in middle. Again, gotta say it. Slow start to the map. 0 and 5. And this time, it's not like he missed a shot. He was just scoped in as Jacob came underneath the scope, walking down beneath him, under his nose.
At least this time, I guess one thing that's a little bit different is, like, he has been, you know, that round there is as a result of, dying off the time. That sucks for Keserato. That does have some impact, right? At least Art could look to drop a gun over, so they're still going to be able to cobble together a buy here. But yeah, at least the way that he dies here, and the reason you kind of feel for him, is it's as a result of this, like, util combo up in the top mid to assist Jacob. It's not like he had a chance at some easy sitter and just missed it. He kind of got outplayed on the back of the util that was employed from Apeks.
I like the proactivity from Stiko that round too. You catch him finding a player deep in the apartments. Not just going to sit back on his laurels in the bomb site. Getting up into the action and putting Apeks on such a pedestal at the moment, right? We already talked about the economy they had as their advantage. Well, FURIA weren't able to churn through it. FURIA now spending basically everything they can in this follow-up, and there's still cash in the back pockets of Apeks. So they're setting themselves up for essentially buys for the rest of the half. And that's assuming FURIA can win a couple more.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, FURIA have always struck me as like a bit of a superstitious squad, and I spoke to them on the media day about, you know, Nork in particular, and they hold him in very high regard, right? Like, especially I think after that Elisa event over in Finland, right, where they met in the grand final, and
Espo.
Yeah, like, you know, Nork was phenomenal there. Downright dastardly with the sort of stuff he was getting away with. And so right now you see him off to a flying start at 7-0. It nearly gets one sweeter there on the timing shot off of the flash.
Put it in contrast, of course, to his counterpart in Fallen. This is 2 ice-cold starts to both maps. An opening kill for Jacob, whose rifling has had an uptick on Mirage. And while Cello would love to get a piece of him, Jacob's on a fresh magazine and ready to hold top connector. There's no way he doesn't expect somebody to have slipped in. Pre-firing these corners. He's not going to let his guard down, right? Surely. Yeah, he's going to find him out. Sniffs out Cello at the minute mark. 5v3 comfortably for Apeks. And we're still left scratching our heads, waiting for FURIA's opening. There it is. Okay. Fallen's first. Straight up wins the duel, but it's not versus the counter off. Oh, no. Poor Fallen. We'll see if Keserato can magically piece together a 1v4, but he is dead real quick. And we keep getting this attitude out of Sense. Young blood added to this roster. Mythar also given the props where they're deserved. Jacob, him in connector and towards top middle when he takes it, that next level of aggression has been rock solid and just too much for FURIA to topple. Also Fallen robbed. That second shot.
Oh, dude, I know. Like, this is one where you can feel really bad for Fallen, right? Like, he hits it, but it's just through that little plank of wood.
Why is that there? Who put that there?
Structural integrity, I think.
Well,
Probably
I'm not...
like building standards, man.
I'm not one for integrity, Harry. Come on.
Oh, man, the nades are always so brutal. Oh, they don't get better. Fallen never even really got to play this round. They just kind of send him in as a sacrificial lamb. They say, mate, you're 12 HP. Just tell us where they are. Gonna try his hand at the bomb plant, but Sense should be able to deny this. Takes him a moment, but he will find it. Even a follow-up on OR back in the connector. Not his original intended target.
Ramp flank. That'll be the end of this. Gonna find Cello in the open, execute him, seeing a second cross the triple now. Of course, the ticket peek comes through. It's a pistol out from Knock. They are untouchable.
Yeah, I mean, you know, outside of those few rounds that FURIA have been able to get, these last few have looked very, very dominant. And even there, as FURIA, don't get me wrong, they don't have a lot riding on that round, but as they get out con, they think they have some great space, but you're just looking at the minimap and it's like a net closing over them. There's kind of only so many variables you can actually account for, and there you've got to account for every single one of them right now, from these smoke creeps out of Sense, these sort of pushes that he's been looking to go for, the big flank from Sassanito. This is very rough. FURIA, do they have the answers?
That's a deep connector peek towards top middle for the opening kill, and then Knock is given a second target.
13-0 on Nork.
Wow, not the 13-0 we thought we were going to get in this series. Can he do it? Can he finish the game without dying?
I mean, you know how it is. Now that you've said it, probably not. Not that I'm one of the people that believes that. It does feel like that's always how it goes.
If you're superstitious.
Oh, Sense does get caught by Fallen. That will allow a plant to come in here. Even with the nades raining in, Fallen's going to be allowed to get the bomb planted. Keserato here to help him. Oh, God, they are just kind of whittling away, chipping away at Fallen. But he's still in the picture, still in with a chance to make this one happen. Him and Keserato double up under Palace. This will just leave them having to take these fights on players crossing, and with Fallen already dead, Keserato can't do a thing. That one gets a bit awkward when they get boxed in together. It gives Apeks just sort of a little 1 meter box to have to shoot into to win the round.
There was a moment there where Keserato opts to jump out of Palace off of the platform down underneath, plays under, trying to get closer to Fallen, trying to cheese around that smoke. But then we see this just numbers group up from the stairs/jungle retake, and I feel like Keserato kind of paints himself into the corner, paints himself into his own demise, but also options limited at that point because there was also the ticket player, so jumping out, everything just so damn hard.
I mean, I said earlier, right, like FURIA strike me as like a bit superstitious with how they view things, right, and how like they hold Nork in this very high regard, but like fair enough, bro, like fair enough. He's 13-0. He's having like game of life versus them. It's fantastic.
Pull out the voodoo dolls, whatever it is that you have to do. Burn some sage.
Incense on the go.
Yeah, just plug your ears and close your eyes and hope that something changes, because Knock is unstoppable. But off of another pause, FURIA grasping for these elusive last two rounds. We saw what they did back on Inferno, winning 2 of the last 3 when they were in such a dire spot. No one can say they haven't been fighting. Ooh, Jacob doing a ton of damage here, not letting them get up cap for free. And it's funny, Stiko, who I think was so important at the start of this half, has just found no action in the last 5 rounds.
Yeah.
He's still just 4 kills, 3 deaths, doing what he has to when he has to, but just not given much to pull on. We're going to have Art yet again get into this connector corner. Sense going to hunt him down, deal with that one, post the 5v4. And remember, with so much damage done too, it's going to be tough for Cello or for Keserato to get back into it. Sassanito, jump scared as Fallen jumps up into him. That gets Cello out from ladder. That exposes the player on the fence. And Stiko wants a little bit more. Going to do a good job to drop a couple. Yuri, nah, not gonna happen. Stiko says enough's enough, collects 3 frags on the round, and protects Nox. Flawless half thus far.
Damn. Yeah, and, you know, great for Stiko to actually get to be involved a little bit more. I mean, you can almost tell where most of these rounds have ended up just based on who's getting the kills right now for Apeks. Stiko has had a single-player game going on over towards the B site for the most part. And yeah, for FURIA, it just looks very deflated. Very rough, like the fights that you would normally hinge, like this squad usually hinges on winning a couple of key openers in their rounds, right? And then they go about it in their own way, but I don't know, they're not winning those. Like even there where Jacob kind of overexposes himself in the connector, that's usually the kill that kind of propels FURIA into a good spot, but no such kills were found. They just don't look in this right now.
They don't look like they have a top 20 player of 2023 in this server. Kcerado looking as human as everybody else. I mean, the kills are just non-existent for FURIA. And we had all the excuses lined up for the Inferno play. It's not their map. It never has been. Now suddenly, dire spot. Knock
still
has died. 15 frags, jumps the site, smokes the bomb, and it's going to try to lead this retake charge onwards, crossing over to the triple. Kcerado, it's all on him. If there was ever a time to shine, but Stiko's sitting on top of that bomb, defusing all the while, and Kcerado alive at the end of the half. Knock 15-0, Apeks 10-2. We're sitting pretty on a diamond in this scoreboard. 15-0 half out of Knock. Obviously not exactly what FURIA wanted to deal with, and Harry, I think you alluded to it so perfectly, saying that FURIA themselves see Knock as this predator in the bushes that just so often holds FURIA back. Well, here is a prime example of it. We're talking about 2 kills on Art and Fallen, 4 frags for Quesarado, and far too many a moment where FURIA simply had no life in a round. This is again, golden opportunity for Apeks to rebound from the donking that happened yesterday. That 13-0 far off their mind if they can quickly quell the threat of FURIA 2-0 this series and lock in their match versus Big tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that would really, legitimize the idea that they've tried to put forward in these interviews, the idea that yesterday just was not, what they wanted. They weren't on the same page. Everything felt wrong. But let's see if they can get there. Yuri opens the round. Stiko dead alongside Sense down in the connector. It's Sassanito next up in line over on the short side. His teammate falls in the meantime. Nork will finally fall. It's Fallen to find him. And FURIA have just learned that the guy that's been uprooting this entire game is mortal after all. The first death for Nork in the second half pistol round. Sassanito out through the connector, 1-on-3 and not to be. It's Fallen nailing shots as they try to move in up through Con. And so much akin to how their kind of faux comeback on Inferno started with a bit of wrist action from Fallen. The pistol is much the same here on Mirage.
Yeah, wrist action, they call it. There's a real chance, I think, that, FURIA closed this gap, CT side of their map choice, but, I mean, we have literally gone through these exact motions one map ago. We sat there, we came back from the first half of Inferno, all goofs and gaffs, you and I, and then, FURIA made us sit up straight and give them the benefit of the doubt, but the boy who cried wolf, maybe they won't get away with it 2 times. Let's hope for convincing round wins. At the moment, it is Fallen just sitting on the USP. And nothing really invested here for Apeks. It's far too easy to just point at this FURIA scoreboard at the moment. Clearly indicate what we need. It's kills, Harry. They need kills. They need openings. They need clutches. They need mid-round calls. And don't forget what ended the comeback for FURIA over on Inferno as well. It was a out-of-nowhere CT-sided 3-man aggression down Banana and top middle. A Hail Mary, right? A real let's end this here and now type moment that they could pull off again. Not in this round, but without, of course, any warning. Oh, so suddenly, once they have their guns, Apeks could just storm half of the map and take this game over the line. 2 kills off the Glock is just another message from Knock. It's a reminder. I'm coming.
Yeah, the Nork of death, mate. It waits for no one. And the thing that's scary here is, like, if you're FURIA, you really need these rounds to be clean, right? Like, this is a game that could just get decided on the dice roll of economy. It's brutal. And so they really need, whenever they get these rounds up against pistols, keep them clean. Make it so you don't even have to worry about that. You can withstand a loss and still have that belief. God,
the hell?
Hey, that's crazy.
That just went through the fence.
Yeah, that just went through the damn fence.
It went through the fence.
Was robbed. The Sense fence nade.
Wow, they've taken physics to an unnecessary level.
Physics 2. The sequel sucks.
Like all of them. Sassanito caught out by Fallen. That was a weird smoke gap on it, so he tries to press his face against it, dies.
Yeah, nice start from Fallen's AWP. Good way for this to open, and even a bit of aggression coming in from... Oh, he would have loved that, man. That could have made all the difference. If he gets away with that kill, suddenly the bomb's going to go all the way back. It kind of throws the round into disarray. Instead, you equal in a 4-on-4, and the last bit of info you had was that Apeks were moving in towards Palace. So FURIA can hardly be blamed for pulling players back towards this A site. And what does that do? That weakens the back line just a little bit. Sense finds one. The bomb was actually heading back towards apartments. It looked like they wanted to end B here, knowing that that kill would shuffle players around the map. I'm really curious if that maintains being the case, what with all the ground being taken out on this A site right now.
This is bananas. Stiko, he's walking this bomb out into the B site. Knock has been able to just walk across A, but, I mean, Stiko can't come back. But that might not matter because the CTs are not there whatsoever. Queserato reveals his position. Sense knows that Cello was last seen inside ladder, and Stiko just has to play his own game. Cello has 4 health. Stiko comes off and gets caught. I love that from Cello. Just a 0 to 100 sprint closer to the bomb site. He's going to try to get on top of the bomb and stick this defuse, but it's a 10-second stick. He's going to have to go all the way, and Sense, he's got to go clear that. You can't just... Oh, he's got to clear it right here, right now. He gets both frags, but not in the nick of time. And by the skin of his teeth, Cello robs it away.
The fact that that even gets so close is crazy. That's so insane.
He could have shot through the box.
Yeah.
When he peeked the window, he could have shot through the box, but going for the wide swing lost it.
Something else that's so wild
right here, shoot through the box.
That molly on shore is actually the reason that, like, the molly that Sense through pushed Cello out of ladder, out to shore, and into B, finding Stiko. Like, there was so many... Oh, that was nearly the collateral for Fallen. In fact, it was. He landed the tag on an AWP, just not the killing blow.
Also, I'm delusional. It was a deeper plant than I thought, so he's not going to spam him through. He played it safe. Well done.
Maybe if he had, like, really big bullets.
Really big ones, yeah. Or a frag grenade. Wouldn't that have been beautiful? Frag grenade into the site.
Oh, and they're both so low.
Ooh.
They're both so low. Damn.
That would have been so cinematic.
Austin should just be like, what could have happened? It didn't. Like, oh, imagine if
love playing that game.
Did get the collateral. How different this round would be. Okay, so Apeks have got control of middle. And FURIA have been more than willing to give it to them. And so when you concede mid, you've got to kind of push the extremities, right? You've got to take something if you're going to give up an avenue as important as mid. Ooh, tag from Arts AWP. Nothing to be too disappointed with here if you're FURIA. That's now 2 players brought down low from these AWPs. Making life a lot easier for these rifles, and one of them comes out now with a kill. Sense has walked that smoking com, but he's not ready for Queserato in at the ramp. And with that kill, suddenly that bomb that was about to rotate in has second thoughts. And with 35 seconds, time is really of the essence here. This might be a bit of a non-starter for Apeks. Or they might try and split this B site with Satsanito out through the window. Missed shot off the AWP, but it will grind to a halt. They decide against it. They get sniffed out too soon. And so this one will just be a save with FURIA longing it out another round.
All right. Well, that's Fallen. Excuse me. All right. That's Fallen finding the damage early top middle.
Ooh.
And getting the op online, right? At one point, he was tied with Art down at the bottom of the board. Fallen has done enough to kickstart it. It's kind of what we had again back on Inferno, just to draw these parallels before anybody gets their knickers in a knot. Just forget about it. You know, FURIA got close just to fall to the sudden Apeks pounce. And I feel like we've been getting glimpses of Apeks kind of powering up here. Getting a little frisky, a little dangerous, but not yet with the all-in. I think that all-in comes soon.
Yeah, you know, I think the one difference here to that Inferno comeback would have to be just that it's not like... It's not essentially, I don't want to say impossible, but it's like it feels impossible when you're trying to come back from such a one-sided scoreline and your opponent has 12 because they've got all that room and all they need is the one. And I know that's a very dangerous mindset to get into, but it can work to your advantage. You can throw in a couple of those Hail Marys, and that's exactly what closed the game. This time for Apeks, it's going to take a little more than that, right? Like, even with the freebie they get, if they break the money of FURIA, that there's still that chance up against 12 then to keep it coming through with the buy round. So for Apeks, there's still a fair bit of pressure here. This isn't a done deal by any means. With 4 rounds between them and FURIA, I think we're seeing Apeks, you know, build across this T side and start to get into it. But very, very quickly, this could end up... Oh, never mind. Stiko tries to lay those worries to rest right now with the Deagle out through Palace.
Unbelievable scenes. Tech9 for Sense going for the bomb plant, trying to give themselves something to hang on to. It's the fact there's so much damage, though. Flash is missing Cello. Oh, that's what they needed. Double kill right back. But remember, Nock is alive. 18-3. Phenomenal first half. And he is now given a chance to clutch out what would be a great moment for Apeks to follow through. You do not want those double Deagle headshots to go to waste. But the first player crosses over. That's now 2 inside of the site. Nade softening him up to 64. And that looming threat of the stairs peak at a moment's notice, missed shot, Fallen closes, and it is Cello who goes above and beyond. Those 2 kills towards Ticket, that's the one thing that gets the retake going. If not, you've got double committed T's inside of Ticket and that perfect crossfire from Knock deep on ramp. That's what wins rounds. But this spray, that second frag, yes, Stiko kicked it off with Deagle's Harry, but he couldn't close it versus Cello when it mattered even more.
Yeah, wow. I mean, you know, he really did give it all he had up in Palace, didn't Stiko? And that hurts for Apeks. And you don't get golden opportunities like that every round. So to have it snuffed out for Nork to never really get the chance to even approach the 1-on-3. And for Fallen to start to best him in a few of these head-to-heads now. Could this be a changing of the tide? Could this be a late activation from FURIA? Over in mid, Apeks have got a lot of room. And they're back with the guns now, so that threat never quite goes away. Great job taking middle. No early round antics from FURIA. But they do have to do something about this lost space in mid. They either have to try and retake a bit of ground, or as mentioned earlier, push the extremities. Cello looking to do that with this second AWP over in apartments, but a missed shot. He will get out of there unpunished. Art falls in the meantime. Bit of an overzealous swing from short with mid being lost. Nork was bearing down on the angle and he's not going to miss those. But Art's been a non-factor in this map. He's not been the guy winning them rounds. He's not really played into any of the rounds. And so FURIA feels like they've been used to doing this one without him. They've reclaimed the 4-on-4 and they'll take it one step further with Cello's AWP ringing out with kills over here towards B. Stiko tries to hit this timing. And he will hit it successfully. That puts a seed of doubt in FURIA for just a moment. Oh, a missed shot for Nork.
Oh no. Oh no. Missed shot ×2. Knock leaving the door ajar. The first real mechanical mistake we've seen out of him, and it comes at such a costly moment because we get those 2 separate engagements, right? Stiko finding the opera of Cello in the back of the B site. And then whoever it was, maybe Tatsunito walking up close stairs. That's how Knock opens this. But Fallen's given a gift. And Quesarado, his other gun was empty. The USP's enough. And now the pressure starts to build if you are Apeks, because your game, your map, your lead, it's all slipping away.
It really is, and they feel that. They really do. I mean, it's 6 in a row now for FURIA since getting onto this CT side, and that's in spite of Art still being down bottom of the board. That's with these heroics from guys like Fallen, from Quesarado, topping the charts alongside Cello, who had that phenomenal 3K over towards CT to even keep this scoreline flawless. FURIA have successfully repelled every advantage Apeks have had thus far. And Nork's monumental, what was it, 15-0 scoreline at one point?
Yes, sir.
Starting to slip away. They made it mortal once, and they'll keep going back for more. Sense falls early in this round to the triple push out through B. And so now the A-site hold in the hands of Yuri and Fallen. They deal with that first man in cleanly, and Fallen can try picking off targets from afar back at Ticket.
Looking very good. Not running too much of a risk either, keeping himself tucked down, letting for the connector and window players to hold off for the second layer to this split, which falls into the hands of Stiko. I mean, what are you working with, Apeks? Single smoke on Knock. You can run that bomb back if you choose to. A flawless CT side coming out of FURIA. Stiko given nothing to work with here. The number is far too strong inside connector. He's at least ahead of it, and luckily that smoke didn't hit him. Would have been an audio cue for the double peek. Doesn't get the first headshot, but a clean little snap over. And there's Art's third frag of the map. We get, again, this sandwich walkout caught out by Art. Jacob gets the kill. Chance at a second here, it would have to have been nasty. Quesarado, massive health advantage. Cello versus Knock on B, 1v1, and timing here for Knock.
Oh, he throws the nade. That's going to give up the sound cue. Oh, my God! Cello takes a leap out of Knock's book on that one, man. That's crazy. It just felt destined to hit. He just panic clicked, and it works wonders.
Brother just blasts him with the blunderbuss. Look at this. Oh, that's so gross.
They've overcome the Nork curse. That's what Cello's saying. Guys, he doesn't hold this dominion over us anymore. I just beat him with the AWP, and I didn't even need both buttons.
Suddenly, FURIA have no doubt, feel as though, play as though they've got this game in their hands. A 10-2 half. Nearly now tied at 10 rounds each. But this is all par for the course if we go back to Inferno. These were all the makings of the comeback, still fell short. And we almost had that moment with the Stico double Palace Deagle. But Fallen just immovable inside of this A site. Such a nuisance to anybody trying to exit up connector. And Art now starting to find his groove with yet another frag. 5v3 for FURIA to tie at 10 on the line. And a consistency in this double op as well. Cello's been hitting shots with it.
Yeah.
And more often with the scope. But Jacob's positioning, catching him off. Cello right there to respond. And with eyes back towards B, he's looking to confirm it all. Still, bomb sits top mid in the possession of no one.
Yeah, but Katowice might be about to find it. Stico.
Hello.
He's got this one for free. At least gets away with that, but still, like, you know, you're not winning this round. That's kind of the issue you got to contend with here, right? 2 versus 3, you find 1 kill, bombs out in no man's land though, and you just don't have the time or the resources to go and get it. And so FURIA have tied this game up. And it is this double AWP doing so much work. I'm glad you bring it up because Fallen has been finding a lot of success on this AWP. He's been locking out Nork even in some of these rounds. Then we had Cello start to bring it forward. Feels like there's a line if you want to don that AWP on FURIA, but Cello's looked really solid with it. And considering, oh dude, even Stico falling off the time to the spam from bad to worse for Apeks.
Oof.
This is dire straits now. From 13-0'd yesterday to now maybe 11-0'd here in the second half of Mirage.
Sees a little shadow. Katowice not going to let him get away with it. And look at the buy it leaves him with. Oof. Triple Galil. Stico comes back with nades, but far and few between. It's that damn geometry again. I'm telling you, they've made nades bigger or something.
The nades were smaller in our day. It's true.
Sense at least out from the ramp. Not given anything to pull on just yet. Yuri's not too far away. Burning, though, that'll let him know. Knock, he gets the kill, but Sense can't follow through. That would have been another opportune moment for Apeks. 5v3. Instead, it has fallen again with Vision. Down connector into Cat. I mean, every player that finds any footing on the catwalk just gets culled by FURIA.
And the thing that's so impressive there is the catwalk player for FURIA is Art, man. Like, he's 4 and 15. He's not having that impact. Instead, it's coming from Cello on the second AWP. It's coming from Fallen over towards A. It's very impressive how, in spite of this kind of quiet performance on Art's side, the rest of the gang is still just picking up the slack and locking down this very key area of the map. Even on this CT push, Satsanito, if he decides to go for it, he's a dead man. Yuri waiting here, bated breath. He could collect this right now, even if he goes a little wider around the box. And with Fallen here, oh, not needed. Fallen might not have vision, but that's not going to stop him. Bomb plant denied.
Beautiful.
Yuri from behind the ticket. The bait and switch pays off for FURIA as he mops up the last 2. And just like that, FURIA have taken the lead from 2-10 down.
Unbelievable. I mean, you can hear the ramp players coming out from this position, right? Shooting their P250s, shooting their Galil, trying to get anybody on the A site to think that the distance is further. That's why this flash finds Fallen. But Fallen ain't playing your games. Blind shot into Satsanito, and it just duos so nicely with Yuri's hidden position. So Cello's going to give him a chirp, and deserve it. We have FURIA now in the lead. Believe it or not, that 15-0 half from Knock turned 20-8. trying again to hit this A site, trying once more to exit out from ramp. It's a blanket smoke strat, but it's Yuri to find one. Pressing out from benches, Serato, and you know he's not going to go down empty-handed. Comes in for second servings, deals death to Stiko, and still Apeks trying to find an opening that just feels far too closed. So they go back to ramp and hold, because time is still ample to play with.
The thing that's so insane there is it's actually the perfect time to pull in this strat for Apeks. The way that FURIA was set up with their 3 players over towards A, they were all either in the sandwich or trapped on the other side of stairs. So those smokes were perfect to cut out the majority of players and give you a kind of 5v1 on that sandwich player, on Yuri, as you come out through the ramp. And in spite of that, with the flashes to propel Serato back in, FURIA make it look like they were the favorites all along. And so now in the 2v3, Apeks are left hinging on Nork, who was flawless earlier on. Jacob alongside him, trying to battle back against a whole different beast to the one they were facing earlier on, and they can't get past it. With Nork dead, it's just Jacob left. And he is boxed in. They know where he is. They've got the bomb. 20 seconds, and he is dead on the swing. FURIA move onto map point. A sentence that if you told me we were saying this 10 rounds ago, I would have told you you were crazy.
Man, I wasn't going to fall for this twice. They weren't going to...
No, I was thinking the same. I was like, nah.
Not allowed.
You can feel how different it is. You know, you can feel that the faith is there. They're all believing in this. And they're playing like it too. Serato even, the goal to double dip that with the flash, sure. Like you can say that maybe gives him a bit of an edge there. But I don't know, there's so many players looking at him and he gets out with a double, a real turning point in the round.
I think it's the level of mid defense that ends up coming out from the extremities of the map, right? Cello opping from apartment, sometimes down to Cat. Fallen opping onto Ticket, sometimes up to Cat. Just lending that helping hand to the weakest point of this FURIA defense, which is unarguably art. And Apeks never really finding openings. The biggest opening, the biggest advantage, the double deagle from Stiko, that 5v3 to get to site. And even that is just this beautifully tethered defense out of FURIA. Everybody working in tandem. It's not individual heroics. It's not one solo play. It's just clean. And Serato comes through his 19th and 20th as he clears out bottom mid. But that Molotov will keep him stranded outside of the A site. Bomb's a little bit delayed, but of course CT's still soon to fight. Smoke grenade, enough of a gap for Fallen to try and test this. Playing his luck as his shot connects yet again. This op has been just nasty. The wrath of Gabriel Toledo. A flawless CT side comes out from FURIA just when you think they're on the brink of elimination in Katowice. A second potential heartbreak back-to-back from 23 to 24. Not tonight. Not yet, that is. We have Ancient waiting in the wings.